Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Team Fortress TV. We've got another Premiership match for you from this week one start of the season, coming right back at you. And it's going to be Forfence versus Virtus Brah tonight. I'm Dave, joined by J-Max behind the camera, and everyone's favourite Irishman, Josh, is alongside me. How are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you doing?
Doing pretty well. Got to see a couple of the new teams yesterday and some more new teams as well today. The Forfence roster is one that we saw last season, but there's a few changes. But this Virtus Brah team is an eclectic mixture of players. I don't know if there's kind of an established core of players or it's just kind of a new mix of almost kind of talented misfits.
This looks like just a complete mix match of players. Like, I know DQC and Fishkoff have played in the past together, but if DQC's not here tonight, then I don't know if any of these players have played together at all. I know they all have good individual skill levels, but I don't know how they can bring it all together because none of them strike me as actual main callers either. Like, Kuna is a pure powerhouse when it comes to demo with his DM ability. He doesn't have his lock and load anymore though, but still going to be good with normal pipes. Fishkoff hasn't played in ages, but he's an old player. Scar is really good. Scar is actually probably one of the best soldiers in Prem, like if he has the right team around him. But I think the person that we actually need to watch out for is actually Olga on Pocket Scout, and it's not for his DM ability, because I know he loves his soldier. I've never seen a scout, but in the past when I've played against him and he's joined French teams on top 5 and stuff like that, he has been an absolute menace because he just brought a complete new paradigm to each French team that he played against us, and he caused a lot of headache for me, as a rival main caller, and the games were very hard to play against him. It was really hard fought victories compared to being just crushing a mixed team. So if he can keep these guys together and keep his head, I think they could actually walk away with this game pretty well.
Yeah, I definitely think Olga is a player who brings a bit of X factor, brings a bit of uncertainty. You never know exactly what he's going to pull out. We know he's good on soldier. Seen him play medic probably most recently, but he's always got that kind of back pocket pyro as well. And it seems we're starting off on Gullywash. At least that's what the server's on at the moment. So I don't know if we're going to see any pyro gameplay out of Olga that could set some fun stuff.
I just want to distract you for a second there. I don't know if you're reading the chats, but apparently Olga's not even here. And Olga hasn't been, the chat's not House is saying in chat, Olga's not been here the entire day, and it looks like they need a merc. So that X Factor might actually not be there, but might not be as, I don't know, a map like Gully can be very heavily won based off a main caller's ability to read it, because it's so fast paced. You kind of need to, the map's small, it's quick, it's very easy to get behind and very easy to capitalize on advantages. A good main caller can really excel at that. That's like you look at Banny, it's one of his bread and butter best maps, and G6's best map, just because of how well and how fast they can play the map by reading it. But if you don't have someone that can read it, compared to Bruiseman, if Bruiseman's here and Olga's not, Bruiseman could probably walk away with this game. The only downside to Bruiseman is he's got a roamer who I didn't think was going to touch the game again. He's got 2 scouts who haven't touched Prem in a long time, and it's a completely new team to the FF from last season. I don't think they're going to do as well as I thought they were going to.
See, they've shifted Alien back onto Demoman, which might be better for him. I think at times last season he didn't look completely comfortable playing the pocket scout role. Certainly that combo wasn't the best element of that team. The big loss is probably going to be Ron's. You know, he's been a phenomenal soldier the last few seasons. He's not going to be here this season, apparently. They've brought in Duo, who does have experience, is kind of an established Prem player, hasn't played for a few seasons. Solid player in his own right, but I don't think he quite matches up to what Ron's has been doing recently. And then Nevo is back on Pocket Scout. Solid pickup, I think. has a lot of experience, but again, might be a little bit rusty. And the new face Shea it's one that makes sense because he's played on this four-fence team before. It was quite a few seasons back in when they won Div 2, I think. But someone who can probably replace QB. He kind of won Div 1 last season, so he's on the up and up, and also someone who is a bit tasty on sniper as well, so he kind of replaces the role that QB provided there, because they did rely quite heavily on that QB sniper last season, and Shea can do that as well.
I do appreciate you telling me about Shea, because I've not heard of him until this season. But so the vibe I'm getting from what you're saying there is he's sort of like the X factor that FF might need. You know, he might be bringing that new level of DM, because right now, like you said, Rons and Duo were. Rons and Bruisman last season were power factors. Like FF played really well because of their synergy. Whereas Duo in the past has never been a soldier that really plays off another soldier. So it's going to be a bit, I'm going to say, interesting to see if Bruceman, when he's calling the mids and calling the strats, if Duo will actually be able to like sync with him as well as Rons would. Because Rons, you know what Rons is like. He goes in, he dishes out 500 damage, and he will still be able to survive. Duo, I don't know if he's going to have that factor. He's good, but it's just not Ron's level.
Yeah,
and no, sorry, you go.
I was going to say, Duo always strikes me as kind of more of a role player who kind of just plays the Roma, mostly plays the flank, does his job, does a role for a team, but he's probably not going to get the amount of players that Rons was doing the last few seasons, so maybe Budgeman is going to have to step up a little bit there. He did have a very good season last season, I thought, Budgeman. I think he was one of the standout players, one of the kind of big upcoming players, but the team didn't quite manage what they wanted to last season. I think this season, the whole level of Premiers may be down a bit. Maybe the kind of ceiling in terms of getting into that playoffs is going to be a little bit easier. But yeah, definitely I think Rons is going to be a big miss.
I agree with that, but it looks like they've accepted Yunu, or Junu, however you want to say it. So him and Nuthouse, I know have played together, and I know they actually have quite a bit of synergy, which is also not something you would usually see in a scout pair. Usually scouts are more their defined role. Sometimes you have those really hard flank scout players like Gazi, or like if you're going back in, or even Ixie, you know, where they don't really sync up with the pocket scout that much. But Junior, I think, will be able to sync up with Nuthouse a lot more, and definitely actually enable each other. Because Nuthouse, when he's on, he can do a lot of work on scouts. So that might be the X factor they need while Olga's not here.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit different. Obviously, double finish scout, both DM powerhouses, but not really as much kind of random factor that Olga provides. Maybe not the same kind of course. But either way, we're going to be going live here. Four Fence versus Virtus Brah. Four Fence starting off in the blue, Virtus Brah in the red, rolling out to this first mid fight on Gullywash. First thing I'm seeing, Alien Smiley is around a little bit slower than Kuna. It's going to start to pressure across the point. Soldier in through drop down. Fishkoff is immediately going to pick up Nevo. He's still in behind, still creating chaos. Does get cleaned up by Budgeman, but he's created so much space for his team to just rush across the point, and it's despite Gel going down, Virtus Brah will look to control the mid.
Pretty simple stuff there. I mean, they call it Fishkoff super. They're coming back into the mid. They're looking like they're going to try and go for the fast retake, which is a really good read. Like, they know Duo is behind, I think, as well, so they really need to focus on capitalizing on Duo being alone before FF get in. The longer Duo stays alive, the harder this last hold is going to be, and he's just doing such a good job. He brought them back all the way to last. Second round becomes free. Full Uberad still to play with. They could even go without Duo right now if they're feeling it, because they know they won't be set up on last. But depends what they might do. They might want to just take it a bit slow.
Yeah, look, they're posturing towards River at the moment. Duel is just about respawn, but they're going to take it straight in 5v6. But they're losing Nevo on the point too. Kuna's stickies. Kuna's untouched at the moment. The Uber is fading. There's two players below the point, Shay and Budgeman, but they're going to have to deal with a Junu Pyro. They both go very low. Budgeman will escape, but it looks like it's going to be a fail push and a reset.
pretty bog standard hold. They isolated one player very well in water straight away. Fishkoff went down really fast, but they couldn't like Nebo down to the stickies completely like derailed that push. I'm actually surprised that they're still trying to push out now. There's 6v6, a really hard push out onto Gully second. They've taken a lot. Gel is get forced as well. Sticky trap from Alien. 100, put him down to roughly 25 HP. Nothing you can do about that. Had no choice. And they're looking to take a DM fight off the damage. They know the positioning is really bad as well. Oh no, wait, Shay's on sniper. That's why they're coming back in. But Shay's missing, and Gel is able to live and get back into a good position.
Yeah, they have the Uber ready to go, but they do have that sniper, which doesn't provide too much during this advantage situation. The bombs are going in by Fishkoff and Scar, but both don't land a single lick onto Juxo, and with 2 gamers going down, even with that sniper, surely they're ready to go into last.
I think so. Level 1 gun, only the pyro. Kuna's caught in no man's land around the point. Nevo's chasing him over the point. Down to 100 HP already, easily picked off. Junior's on to 100 HP. Gel's dying. No, Gel lived in the spawn door! Oh, it's a train wreck, they can't push last! No way, this is so poor. I can't believe... Oh my god. Jesus.
Absolute disaster.
That is a disaster and a half. They had to make... That was gifted. Like, Kuna gifted themselves on a platter. He just stood there in the middle of main. Oh, I'm sorry. And Shay managed to live. The only saving grace is Juxta managed to live. Juxta read it well and managed to get out. But Gel's got that big fat Uber advantage to play with now.
Yeah, and this time they've managed to come out much cleaner. They did have the sniper to worry about, but pushing out from top, very easy for them to avoid getting forced there. Juxta's built this Uber at decent speed. Actually, Junior's going to get caught in the choke. Looks like they're not even ready to go. Not sure exactly which, whether to pressure through choke or through big door on the side of Virtus. And yeah, looks like they're just going to have to reset, play the even Uber situation. They know there's a sniper up for 4 fence still, but just going to have to settle down here.
It was a nice sort of your basic double soldier hold on the choke, completely stuffed the push. Brisman's managed to get behind, but he's getting chased down. He's got 2 finished scouts after him and another soldier fighting him. He'll go down pretty quick. Shay's getting in here. Shay's going for the hero shots. He forces him. He was followed up with Alien's damage though at the same time. Alien put Kuna down to 40 HP. Gel saw the sniper. There was no scouts with him, no soldier. I don't blame Gel there. He's pretty much thought he had to pop. But they shouldn't have lost 2-0. And they lost Alien. Oh no, Justice dropped everybody. Oh, that's poverty. How did they manage that?
Really unfortunate. Juxta couldn't even get out to choke. He got himself caught in banana and got forced as well. And they're trying to hold choke here. They know that Joe's not going to be at Uber for a while, but they are a couple of players down. They lost a bunch of players before taking that Uber. And it was just a kind of domino effect. They lost 1 to force. Budgeman went down, then suddenly they just didn't want to pop. They wanted to milk and milk and milk, but just kept dropping players.
That's just that's lack of experience. Like, FF last season would have been aggressive with that 4-man Uber, like, despite that. The Uber has already come in. Kuna just bombs in straight away, picks up Nevo straight away. Shay goes down as well on the flank to Scar. Dwell potentially caught up top as well. He's got a soldier chasing him. Don't think he's going to get caught, but that's a good Uber. That's a good take. This is last pressure if they're quick enough on it. They're a bit slow, but they're still 2 good picks. No scouts, no off classes, no scout speed to chase. They could be doing a bit more here.
Yeah, it looks like they're happy to settle for second and maybe go for a force. They've actually got the force out in the riverside area. Budgeman taken very low, but they do get 2 frags onto high and onto Fishkoff for on the 4 fence side. So 4 fence are going to peek out towards second, going to try and get some cap time. Everyone from Virtus is back on mid, playing the ad. Building the Uber up, so kind of back to very similar to situation to what we were in about 30 seconds ago.
I mean, they've got a decent hold. The advantage is now that they have 6 players alive, so they can do a good hold onto the choke. They're still trying to bully their way through. Duo's weak, Brusman's weak, but there's such a good hold. So much damage has come out. They've not used yet, but they're not getting any damage onto any of the blue soldiers. Shay was caught behind. He's done a lot of damage. They bought enough time for Juxta to get the Uber. They can actually come back in here. This is a really good trade for a scout right now. If Nevo can take that Uber into them, straight into Kuna's face, this would be so good. But Kuna's just raining a billion DPM from this low ground into the top. It's such a hard position to fight. You have to be the one to sort of initiate that trade there, to open up the space for your soldiers so they can bomb around post-Uber, but they just didn't have the... There's a lot of lack of experience showing right now in the FF team in the transitions.
Could definitely tell they wanted to sit on the high ground for as long as possible and wait for the Uber as long as possible, but it just meant they all kind of took the same damage from Kuna in the same space. They were all stuck eating the same kind of spam, and they obviously didn't fancy it once they'd taken damage. Budgeman went very low, had to go back for a health pack, and yeah, it just ended up having to evacuate back to last. They got themselves out there safely enough, but now we're going to be stuck on last for a little bit.
Oh, Scar's already in. Scar's found 2-0. He's caught him in secret. He's caught napping. That's really bad. Scar's still alive. No one's trying to capitalise on this. And Kuna's getting stuffed in the shutter door, so he can't follow up, but it took a long time for that soldier to die. A lot of lack of support going on. Kuna's managed to get the gun. This is perfect Sack City now. Boozman dies. No soldier spam on the doorways. Kuna can get in even more for free now.
Yeah, Duo just about respawns, gets his crit buff, and is going to jump to try and fight underneath. He's going to win the 1v1 with Fishkoff underneath with that extra little buff that he had. So he's cleaned stuff up, he's come back into the fight. Looks like everyone from Virtus is just going to have to back up for a little bit. They've got a carpet of stickies all around. We'll see if they have anything up their sleeve, and it seems they're going to turn to the Juno sniper.
This is like typical for... This is typical for you Gullywash last holds right now. Like sentry guns in the normal spot with a pyro. You've got like an Iron Man hold on this top left area. Like very easy to trade spam on the doors. Juno, oh, hero peeks onto Junkster. What a beautiful shot from Juno. The power merc, and they cap the point without even needing the Uber as well. The chaos factor, the cap with the chaos. What a beautiful, beautiful shot from Juno. But that's the difference though. Shay had sniper for about 5 minutes and didn't even hit a body shot. Juno peeks once, straight headshots to medic. Now the momentum is going to be a big factor in these teams. And when you have a new team, momentum plays so much into the mindset.
Yeah, Virtus Brah going one up. Kuna arriving to mid. A lot of pressure down on him already, but he's defended by his scouts. Budgeman goes on the little awning. They're going to clean up Dwy, but Budgeman is still in behind, cleans Juno up. There's aggression from high. He's gonna survive for now, but Virtus Brah is so split, they're so spread out. Joe's gonna have to get out of there, but the combo from the Frenchies is much more coherent, much more together, so they're gonna take the mid fight, but with a couple of players left behind.
I don't know why Scar just killed himself for running around there. He could have stayed alive, like, and tried to get some health packs. There's an easily. I mean, Nuthouse had no problem killing Duo there, but 2v1 in the spawn kill just makes life a little bit easier. They could have easily tried to work their way back to lower, but fair enough. And Nuthouse is caught behind now in no man's land. He's going to get cleaned up and then they can pressure last.
Yeah, that's a second pick. There is a spawn up for Scar, so, you know, he's dying early, I guess, and dying out of sync with high actually ended up working out quite well for them. Nuthouse just keeping himself alive long enough that they weren't going to be too down for this situation. They've got Shay up on the sniper for the Frenchies, going to try and peek in from the main area. Probably doesn't see too much. There is an NG just running back to spawn. There's a sentry going to have to deal with. Scar's taken out before any kind of sniper action. He's going to fire off a shot. They're going to hear that. They're going to be aware. They're so aware that
they just get the cap time, but the chaos pick from Fishkoff. Picking up one soldier opened up water completely. There was no stickies on point. They've just gone into water. Jay wasn't even like trying to shoot the NG, which could have been an easy pick. He started shooting the gun. Like, I guess he was trying to sync spam it with the demo, but just everybody was just caught napping. Good advantage play from FF. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, back to 1-1. Seems some sloppy holds at the moment on these last points, but Dwo's going to get immediately aggressive and gets the Minecraft kill onto Kuna. Might get out of there, not quite, but Junu's gone quite low, chasing him, and now Alien can pressure across the point. They're going to lock players out of spawn. They have to worry about a couple of players in the back. There is the soldier, Fishkoff, looking to create a bit of chaos. Both the scouts are stuck in the choke at the moment here. They're going to have to hit their shots. Junu fighting with Nevo. He's cleaned up. And a nice little surf by Jux is going to keep himself alive, get himself back to his side of the point. Gel will survive. They will set up for second here. Virtus, but Forfence take the mid.
I mean, it's not a good hold for FF right now. It's only the demo and Gel here. Dwo goes in, gets a lot of damage onto Kuna. The trade comes out. Kuna gets dropped. they haven't used yet though. Gel's milking. I don't think they're going to be able to capitalise much of this. Like, Nevo's gone behind, he's pulling a lot of people back. Johnson does get caught, he misread that Uber after. And Tuo's tried to collapse on Gel, but he's still alive. Shay comes in with the flank, very nice little clean up. Again, though, lack of experience. That was such a good trade for FF. They got the demo pick. Nevo had really good position behind. Juxta just needs to read that a little bit quicker and get out like much faster. And they could have easily had a good reef push or refight based on Nevo's distraction. But I don't know, just a bit of miscommunication, lack of experience. It is showing.
It definitely feels like miscommunication. I think he was probably screaming as soon as they got that demo pick that they wanted to just flood in through the choke, but overstayed their welcome. Big bomb now onto Juxta. A nice shot from him onto Fishkoff. Gonna finish him off. They're gonna continue to fight here, Virtus Brah, but they might just want to go back, play the bunker, play the heals. Kuna going very, very low. Can he get chased? There's two healthy scouts that could chase him down, but neither commit.
Bruzman's up top, he's trying to get the flank, he's already been spotted. I think if you're Bruzman, this is just going to be a live and leave.
It's actually crit streak as well. Crit streak for Joe.
I don't know, Kuna's bomb Ubers alright have been pretty good so far. And crits onto the... if you understand the holds, you know you don't need to get the medic. You could crits and get these two soldier picks and that would be enough to roll it all the way to second. But let's see if the experience shows. Kuna crits in for drop! Gets Nevo straight away. Alien's caught in no man's land. But shit, Gel dies straight away to a Bruiseman bomb, but 3 picks have fallen already. Alien's out of there. Juxta lives with 60 Uberad. Be full out by the time Gel spawns, but they're not going to get spawns in time, I don't think, to be able to just go for this fast re-push into the mid to get the cap.
They're trying to deny the spawns here. They do just about deny them. They get the cap there on Virtus, so that was pretty important for them, because if they'd come up forwards, it would have been a very quick recap. But either way, Forfence still have those 3 spawns. They're getting there now. They still have 100% Uber, and I don't know about you, Josh, but I'm not sure I agree with a crit squeak from drop down.
I don't agree, simply because of the fact that both teams played it horribly. I mean, the spam from the blue soldiers right now is really good. They've already picked up Nuthouse on the flank. Scar's been behind, though, right now in the choke. He's the man to watch. I don't know if he's been spotted. No, he's been spotted. Shay's aware. Shay knows what's going on. He's gone into the drop down. If he's no, Nevo's not spotted him. But Shay's still aware. Very well. Good awareness from Shay. But yeah, the crits from drop down, it's like... VB pushed, but no one was watching drop down. I don't understand how they managed to get him for free so easily. But they didn't take a soldier to protect Kuna, even though it's just as bad.
Yeah, they're actually going to fight this from the top here, Virtus Brah. They have the Uber ready to go. You can see the Frenchies are well split, ready to kite this Uber should it come out, and they already have control of the second point, so I think Virtus smartly are deciding to go back. They're actually going to try and hold from lobby and maybe play from here. But the Uber's advantage is fading, but they do have the 2 picks.
That was really well played. Oh, they've come in, they're going for the trade. They're going to try and get forced late and try buy time for spawners and try to come back in. Julia gets dropped from the Uber just at the tail end. Alien leaves. The Gel gets caught in lobby with Nevo, but surely they just get collapsed on here. Nevo dies. Juxta has potential to live. Bruceman spawned in time. If Bruceman needs to hit this rocket, Bruceman's struggling, he scouts on the high ground. Chase here to save the day.
Very, very scrappy stuff. Joe just getting completely abandoned by his team there. Scar now fighting in lobby. But it's a lot of pressure. Juxta's actually slightly aggressive in a position. They have a little bit of ad here for fence, but it's going to be a while before they can build it up. And I don't know if they can push dry, even with the Scar pick.
They should know they have ads. Not a huge ad, but they should know they have like 20-25 ad based on Juxta just living alone. And if they have their volume up and hear the gun only just going up now, they know that they have the opportunity to push. And they're moving river for their classic Frenchy river push. Scout's going to get flashed into water and Combo's going to go in, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, they're taking it in. Kuna getting launched. Takes a while to take out the gun due to Junu Pyro. There's cap time on it now by Nevo. Budgeman's still below the point. Shay's very, very low, but able to just walk on, and eventually the Frenchies swarm the point. and get a second point here, 2-1 to the Frenchies.
A good last push that. So the last push that they're doing is they're sending a scout and soldier. Scout gets flashed into water and the soldier follows in, and they just isolate one player. So Fishkoff is just getting 2v1s every time they do this river push, while the combo goes onto the point and Nevo runs across the point. It's good way to isolate 2 picks, and then you just move on to the point.
The Frenchies are a little bit slow this time. Big bomb coming in from Duo, but he's stuck in Banana with not too much health at the moment. But there's pressure across the point. Scar and Fishkoff J goes down as well. Jux is completely trapped out. Sticky's eventually down him. He's able to walk back into the point. But they have the extra pick here on the 4 fence side. Nevo wants to chase, but he sees 2 explosive classes in front of him. Budgeman, though, in the back lines is going to be able to land on the medic gel. It's followed up as well very ably by Nevo. He's going to have to hide in the corner here. Can Juxta survive, though? The players are landing on him. Nice little surf. He's so low, he's down to 5 health. Eventually cleaned up by the collapse from Junu. The fighting continues. Shay is going to run back to the health pack. They still haven't capped mid. And are we going to settle down finally?
I don't think they're going to be able to cap mid. Gel spawns before Juxta. He's got 2 scouts. They could actually go for the raw DM fight here right now. They know Juxta will not be there for a while. They're already in the big door. They're moving in. They know these players don't have buffs. But don't know, you're 2-1 down. That is a good potential advantage to go for. But looks like they're just going to opt for the second hold, which, if you're FF right now, is actually probably what you want, because now you can just slow the game down a little bit. So you're 2-1 ahead, you're getting down to the 10-minute mark. This is where, you know, you've had your bit of chaos, you've had your bit of like back and forth with the other team, but you've secured your advantage. You can start working on your mind games now and actually see if you can actually get in the other head of the other team by not doing anything.
Yeah, I don't think 4 fence are gonna not gonna take too many gambles, not take too many chances. Scar is the one looking to walk in, looking to find some space, but he's just gonna be peppered back a little bit from Choke. There's stickies all over big door for the Frenchies to deal with, but Duo's just going to skip straight past them, going to get himself into lobby. He's going to get chased behind by Height, but providing some space in big door while all that happens. Shay is in behind as well, so it's potentially a 2v1 on last for the blue side. We'll have to see if they can continue to keep control, and actually Duo is going to find a nice frag onto Height. While that happens, Shay is still in behind. Despite that trade, there's some space through Choke now for Brugman. He's going to land on the medic while Shay goes in as well. Brugman's still caught behind here just for a second, but there's not too much damage done onto Joe.
Brugman's got it for the force, and he gets a force. That last rocket probably, I don't think that last rocket would have killed Gel. I think it would have put him about to 10 HP, but I understand Gel's reasoning to pop there. He's got a soldier landing on his face, he can't take the chance. But the hold from VB is really bad. Like, they're like just waiting for a call based on everything and all flocking to that one call, and it's just opening up gaps. The soldier going in for a high bomb now onto the Choke. Juxta's already baiting. He baited out Fishkoff, because that's just too easy. Like, it's kind of too obvious. You need to wait for the med commits and then you go for your bomb. Like, someone has to be spotting for you there. You don't just blindly do it.
Yeah, I ended up going for the frag onto Alien, but either way, it's going to be an Uber just coming straight in through main before second is even capped up. Alien has stickies on the point. There's going to be Scar landing behind him, actually. Alien caught a little bit awkward situation, but the cleanup from Shay and Nevo is there, and we're going to get a third round for 4 fence with 10 minutes left there. There are a couple of rounds up here.
I know I've been dicking on FF a little bit for lack of experience, but they do have a bit more experience than VB right now, and it is showing in the transitions. Like, their pushes and their holds with Ubers and that, a little bit questionable, but the transitions they're playing much better, and that moves us on to the next mid.
Yeah, Alien looking to pressure down into the enemy side. Duo is on the low ground. Both the soldiers are now going to jump in, clean up Fishkoff. No soldiers. High is down to a sliver of health as well. It's all crumbling here for Virtus, and I don't know if they can leave Brugman Duo. Just everyone's inside, everyone's big door. They're going to have to try and get out up top, but the soldiers are already in. Duo's in for the backstab as well. Gets the frag actually onto Junu, and the cleanup is here with Nevo running down Joe.
It's starting to look a little bit too easy for FF. They've just read that like it took them 5 mids before they started able to read the game. They've already gone through main. Uber's been popped. Kuna's only just come out of the spawn door. Nevo's got a lot of time. They've lost Shay though. Shay's going down. Kuna does die, but there's too much cap time, so that's pretty standard. But yeah, FF has been reading the mids of what VB are doing. They've seen like these players that are getting isolated. Both soldiers got picked off before the mid even begun last mid. There's just not been much synergy from VB on these mids. The scouts are sort of getting stuck in just babysitting mode, and they're not able to like use their freedom. Kuna's getting put into the choke, and it's just happening again. A good summer soldier bomb straight away. Gel dies, Dwo dies for it, but they're actually getting the bad end of this. Oh, Fishcop with the big flank. He's caught Alien and Juxta in the choke, but Juxta kills Fish. But I think it's still short-lived. He does get chased by Scar and Juno. Maybe a bit of overconfidence there. 2 FF soldiers feeding for 1 medic. It's okay if 1 lives, but both died, and so it just opened up the floodgates.
Yeah, it's a big commitment with both the soldiers going in onto Joe. They did clean him up, but it took both of them basically all of their life to do it. And then there wasn't really a kind of coherent exit plan. You know, when you're throwing those 2 soldiers in, you have to play your medic safe, play your scouts around them safe, ready to leave if they have to. And they're just a little bit too late setting them up. One of the scouts got caught. Juxta ends up getting caught, and now Joe has an advantage to potentially push with.
I mean, if you're VB right now, you look at the clock and you see 7 minutes left, you shouldn't really be too upset. You've got a sizable advantage to use. Looking like a main Uber against a full Uber. Kuna bombs in, gets air blasted away. The gun's still alive for so long, but Nevo does die to Judo. And Bruce and Shay have been dropped as well. So what looked like a train wreck push at the start, with Kuna getting air blasted into the spawn and having no impact, has turned out lovely. The flank from VB just going in with the chaos and getting 2 picks on the flank. It's working out really well. But it's possibly just unawareness from FF, not being ready for like the flank to push. They do it to VB and get picks on it. They need to be ready for it themselves.
Yeah, unconventional to go through main on the kind of set Uber advantage. You normally expect that when it's a kind of a fast transition, but it worked out well for them. They caught the engineer, they caught the sentry gun pretty early. Now we're on to the next mid. It's going to be Dwo looking to go in low, and Kuna's pinned back with so much damage early on onto his medic as well. Dwo's jumping in, picks up Juno. It's probably going to find Kuna as well, steals the health back. There's nowhere for the Virtus guys to escape, and Juxta keeping him alive is the most important thing for 4th fence. Highs and behind, but he's just so much health, there's not really much you can go for.
I mean, FF have read the mid perfectly this time round. Like, they realised going for the medic gel is actually not the play on these mids, simply because it just allows High and Judo to just run around and cause chaos as much as they want. Whereas if you actually just ignore the medic and isolate the soldiers of Fish and Scar, there's no synergy between either of them right now. Fish goes up, drop down, Bruceman just chases him with 300 HP, he can't do anything, and Scar can't follow up because he has the other 2 scouts looking at his face. It's just such a bad setup. But they've come in with the River Uber, they've done their normal Uber again, flanking through water. Nevo's got tap time on point, Fishkoff dies already. Dwo does fly behind, but 3 picks already. Kuda's dead, 2 scouts on point, but the Pyro's alive with the heal beam. I think this is actually going to go in the favour of VB now. Pyro's too strong, and he slowly burns Bruceman down.
High came back all the way from being caught behind on mid, is able to end up clutching that fight at the end of the day. The hold was just about strong enough, even, you know, only really relying on that single off class with the engineer, then pulling out the Pyro from spawn. Scout comes in behind. And they're looking to continue. High's now up to a 6k, moving through into mid, trying to press this advantage. They've got the pick onto Dwo. But Alien picks up Kuna, that's Demo Man down, that's not good news. Scar's caught as well. And they're looking to continue to pressure with the Uber, but they don't really have the players.
What? They're so disconnected, I don't know what... I don't think any of them know what is going on right now. Everyone on FF is on red health, but VB are so chaotic right now that even they know what's happening. But High has got a heal beam, and he's got a lot of ammo. There's a possibility he can win this fight if he knows how low these players are. Shay finally rings off a headshot as well. It's taken him a long time to actually have any shots with the sniper have any effect. I'm surprised they actually keep letting him snipe. Like, confidence is what you need, but so High is now down. The raid boss is dead. Scar's going to get caught in no man's land. He's trying to catch Shay, but now they know where he is, so it's just going to be oh, the second pick? Maybe the confidence is starting. But now they're rolling on with 40 ad.
It's taken 27 minutes, but finally Shay's starting to warm up, and Kuna might get caught here as well. Duo just going in before Kuna was ready to evacuate. They're looking to stay in here on the Virtus Brah side. There's still a couple of rounds down with 3 minutes remaining, but Brudgeman is gonna backstab them once more. Picks up Joe. It's actually Shay's sniper. Ends up claiming that kill, but
Shay's sniper actually just won that push then as well. I don't know if you saw it at the start. Kuna spawned in time, but Brudgeman's already on the ring, denying him. Alien's on point. Kuna dies. Uber gets forced, but it's probably too little too late. Fishkoff's alone against the scout with an Uber and a sniper. So much cap time, and that's all she wrote. But yeah, Shay warmed up. About, I mean, if you're a sniper, it shouldn't really take that long, but in that hold, got 2 picks on mid, moved on to the second point, headshot the soldier up top while Brudgeman was flanking, got the easy pick on the soldier, Brudgeman killed the medic, Shay got the kill on the scout, and it was just a train wreck. But VB there's just no direction from VB, like they just sort of arrive, but there's no objective. They don't know what they're doing. No one's taking the lead. No one's calling a focus. It's just so misorganized.
yeah, definitely you could tell times like that wasn't great. You know, the pressure was certainly on. There were a couple of rounds down. They had that Uber advantage. You know, they want to press that advantage. They need to pressure into mid. They need to just try and walk in, but it was as you say, a little bit of a train wreck. They just super committed. They held the W. They didn't try and bait anything out. They didn't try and, you know, take anything slow and steady. It was just pedal to the metal, and I don't think their kind of brains and their calls were able to keep up with the pace they were trying to play at.
I wanted to see like even some sort of like just some sort of like ingenuity from them, you know, something new, something different. Like as a new team, you've got so much options. You know, you're not established. People don't understand your play style. You've got you've got the chaos factor, but you've got the unpredictability factor that you can use to your advantage. But there was just none of that. Like Fish did the same drop down mid probably 4 times in a row, which Bruggeman read like a book and just kept jumping into the choke with 300 HP and fighting him alone and winning because a buff beats no buff, which meant that Nevo and Shay had complete control of the middle. So they didn't have to worry about the soldier behind in choke, which meant Alien had a free mid because Alien could just walk forward doing as much damage as he could. And even though Duo and Bruggeman weren't in sync, Duo didn't have the same problems. Duo was able to get up, drop down. He would do a lot of damage to Kuna or pull Kuna back into a position he didn't want to be in, but Duo was staying alive. Like when you touched on it in the pre-game, like Duo not being the same level of raw DMs, like in your face impact as Ron's, he did his job perfectly. He stayed alive, he did some damage, he went and got a health pack, he came back, he did more damage, he got a kill, and then he died. What more? You can't ask for any more from your roamer in that situation. So, and then VB just didn't think about these mids. They didn't think, what can we change? What can we try? Can we try going top right with 6 people? Can we try sending 4 people aggro and our med just living? Like, there was just nothing, just brains disengaged.
Yeah, that wasn't too much adaptation, I have to say, from Virtus on particularly on those mid fights. It was kind of just all on Fishkoff. If the drop down play worked, they won the mid. If it eventually, though, the Avengers kind of wised up to it, and you know they just didn't really have too much presence. But we're moving on to Granary now. Anyway, I think we took a quick look at those logs, but that wasn't too much interesting from my point of view. Granary. Again, another kind of interesting map, a map that Frenchies tend to like, tends to be pretty soldier heavy as well, similar to Gullywash. What kind of are you looking for, particularly from Virtus, I think, to change on this map?
I mean, if you're VB, you got to have some level of synergy. You want to have like a double soldier bomb with an aggro scout trying to cause as much chaos or much damage as possible. Isolate the demo that sticks himself out in the middle of nowhere, push them into a corner and open up the map for Kuna to do a billion damage. But FF last season on this map was probably one of the hardest teams I ever had to play. So if Brugman takes whatever strats he had last season, applies it to this team, I'm going to say VB have no chance.
Yeah, it could be tricky, but maybe not quite as much soldier power this season. But Duo obviously doing very well in that first map. But here we are. We're going into Granary. It's going to be Forfence who took that first map, starting in the blue, and Virtus are over in the red once more. First mid of Granary, going to see Kuna going up top. Aliens there a little bit before him, but with actually neither of them have too much health at the moment. Both are down to about 50, going to get chipped a little bit. Launching from Brugman is going to land on the lamp and going to take Kuna out. Junu's cleaned up as well, and that might be mid-fight over. Fishkoff's going to take an arrow, they're going to go back. They did get Juxta, despite all those heavy losses for Virtus, so they're going to just go back to second and try and keep their mid alive.
Oh, Nebo should not have taken that 1v1. There's just no need to fight things like that. You've got 4 people playing on the point. Just read the memo. It's a shame that, because, I mean, well, it's actually a big shame now because Gel's still alive with a 100% Uber advantage. So once VB get healed up, they're going to be able to push in now. And the hold is just not going to be there. Because Shay's not going to pick up the medic. So Nebo had to wait, or Juxta had to wait for the spawn, so the heals were slow to get to mid.
Yeah, there was some presence in yard, but it's kind of just being completely pushed out at the moment. They're going to set up on mid here. The Frenchies, they don't have too many players holding too close, so the Uber is still ready to go from the Virtus side. They're trying to walk their way in without using Brugman as core as well. Gel, nice and safe through the left side on the check at the moment. They're actually going to run down Alien as well. High just charging in.
They're going to get Uber in time, and Juxta's going to be in a position to block with Nebo if he just runs straight onto the point.
Shay wins a 1v1.
Nebo needs to get on the point.
He gets the back gap, and he's on to last. Don't think there's going to be a spawner. Absolutely no chance. Shay just winning that crucial 1v1, and enough of a block coming in. Beautiful, beautiful stuff from Forfence.
It's really annoying because Gel had such a big Uber ad. They got 2 picks, but Fishkoff saw Shay go behind. And there was just no urgency in VB to just be like, right, let's get on the point. Like, Fishkoff saw him, and it took until Shay got onto second point before VB started to cap the point. Especially off 2 picks. It's basically 3 picks, 2 down and 1 behind. Alien dies!
He's
that's
tagged by the sticky.
I mean, that's just mid reversal. Look, first mid, Kuna got destroyed by Alien. This mid, Alien gets destroyed by Kuna.
Unfortunate stuff. Kuna rolling out his choke and just tagging Alien immediately, dies to the crater. As you say, absolutely no mid-fight, mid-over immediately. They're going to settle down on the yard area, and they're trying to bust through the left yard, actually. Duo going high in the air, but there's stickies ready for him from Kuna. They're looking to continue to push. It's only off a single pick, and both the soldiers are heavily tagged, but they want to continue the pressure.
This is looking like a really good trade right now, but there's a lot of people in this trade, resulting in a lot of flashes, and the red health is not very good. The only saving grace is 2 picks, and it's both soldier picks as well. You cannot take this fight on Granary second without your soldiers. It's too hard. And FF realised that. They were still rolling with the momentum, though. I'm loving this aggression from VB. They're getting that chaos factor in now. Duo's really low behind. Lots of cap time on point. They're stacking 6 people. Really, really good. That is what I've been looking to see all night. Like, just something a little bit different that VB bring. And that was only 1 pick. And FF still had full HP players, full buffed, but just really good aggression. Just no respite for FF. Just relentless.
Yeah, just taking the space afforded to them, taking that pick onto Duo. They snowballed it onto a second soldier pick. Then they had all the space up top. Just continued to pressure forward in a domino fashion. We're going to see the next mid here. This time Alien has a little bit more health to fight from. He's going to just stay alive a bit longer. Fishkoff is going to land on Juxta. Great surf from Juxta onto the other crate on the other side. He has to drop down high. Is going to descend on him, clean him up, but there's not too much else going well for VB there. Kuna on 7 health is going to back out, but it's going to be a Frenchie mid.
Some really strong positioning before the fight actually engaged from FF. Juxta had a lovely, lovely surf. It's such a shame that he actually fell onto the low ground into the scouts' waiting arms. If he had just stayed on the heights, that would have been Juxta living, and that would have been the difference maker for this last push. But Scar's actually come out on Spy as well. This is the first time we've seen him break out the off classes. But Brisbane's gone up into drop down, check garage. They know they haven't seen a soldier now. It depends if they've. Scar's uncloaked. Scar's behind. He gets the pick onto Juxta.
Yeah, just some ingenuity there. Hadn't really seen any Spy at all through this game, I don't think, and pulls it out after a mid-fight. Does get that pick onto Juxta, and now they're going to have a huge advantage to work with. We'll have to see whether they try and push before Scar. Spawn's probably going to come back up on Soldier, as you'd expect, but they're looking to go through the Z area, looking to walk it out cleanly. There's Demo Man and Soldier in the left yard that they're going to have to deal with, but everyone from Full Fence is backing up, respecting the Uber.
Kuna's absolutely relentless, man. He just leads the charge every single time. He doesn't let his scout rush or anything. Brisbane gets a bomb, they get the force out. There's double back cap this time. And VB know about it super early. 3 people going back for it. Should be easily cleaned up. Shay's on 10 HP. Duo's hiding in the right side corner on mid, though. This could be a really good flank for Duo. Gets a big bot, but he's alone. Oh, no one went in to try and help him. When they knew... Oh, that's miscommunication. That FF knew 3 players had gone back for the FF flank. They could have tried to go for a play on that mid, but they've elected to just bait Duo. Try to hold yards with 3 people now with the full Uber ads, but you can't do that when you got 6 people barreling into your choke points, and now they're stuck in no man's land. But it looks like they do want to try and pop up, like try to push out. Taking the right yard through Z, nice and slow, nice and methodical. Gel is going to have Uber in about 5 seconds though, so this Uber ad is not going to be taken into mid.
Yeah, we'll have to see if their counting is on the ball or not. Joe is up at the Uber, so yeah, it looks like they're just going to settle down, slow it down. Even the Uber's out there aware that Joe has it. So they, at the moment, they're just going to have to sit in their own yard in this 1-1 scenario. Not an ideal scenario for Full Fence, but it's where they're going to have to play from.
They're a bit... It's so sketchy watching Kuna, man. Look, he's just in a choke point with no buff. He's walking into stickies. Alien is not looking. He could have killed him 3 times by now with this sticky trap. Kuna's alone. Like, no, there's nobody behind him, no one supporting him, no one's helping him. If someone rushes him, Kuna dies straight away. I know he's trying to bait into stickies, but it's just not working. Like, you don't see a demo at top level do this, because the demo is so important. I mean, Fish maybe tried to play after the distraction, but it's not enough. But he's down to 100 HP right now. If FF realised this, man, they could isolate Kuna so much more than what they're doing.
Yeah, we're seeing Virtus looking to push it in with that 1 pick onto Budgeon going through a sack, not finding anything. Duo is going to get run down by Junu here. He's going to somehow get the trade though, and at the end of the day, that's not ideally what VB wanted. They wanted to find some space. Scar is actually...
What is he doing? What is Kuna doing? Here. He's just running into the choke place, he doesn't care. But now he's just baits his team into such a poverty Uber. I mean, somehow they get Alien, but Kuna's died. Juxta hasn't even popped. Nuthouse is 10 HP with Fishcop behind. They just need to slow down FF right now. If they just slow down and play this right, they'll be able to win this fight. Nice and slow. Fishcop dies. Junu just about lives. Get a nice little arrow from Gel. But like, it's not a pug. You can't do things like this. It doesn't work. And now Nuthouse has like done this. Like, what? I don't understand. This is meant to be a Prem game. That's like a Div 4 strat at best. Like, the worst part is it's a demo that's leading the charge. He's hiding in garage. He's just killed Nevo, but died for it again. What is this?
Kuda's
he's just baited Scar.
It's definitely making it entertaining. He's can't predict exactly what Kuda's gonna do. Junu's not with him for long parts of this game as well. They're gonna take the Uber out to try and trade onto second, but Jugster can milk and milk and milk and milk, and now they're gonna use back in Alien. And Shay both going in. Can they catch anything? I actually gets the frag, but once more he's traded out, and they're looking to come back in here. But actually Fishkoff with the flank as well. But yeah, the Frenchies, everything's just going wrong for them suddenly.
I don't understand how this Uber went so bad for FF. They had a demo and a soldier pick, and the Uber that came out from VB was a pocket scout trade on the point. But Nevo and Shay are like trying to sync up on the second now. Scar's found Shay, he's isolated. Nevo picks up Kuna on the spawn. That's actually such a beast pick from Nevo. A really good read from Nevo as well, to know that he would actually catch Kuna while he was rolling out. If FF play this right, they've bought enough time for their scout spawns. This will be a really good fight to take. I don't think VB understand how the map spawns on this one, because this is probably one of the worst points to fight if you're a red team.
Yeah, they're looking to muscle in with that Uber advantage in hand, but everyone from Forfence is back and ready to go. They're actually setting it up in yard, and there's aggression coming in. Everything's quite low on the VB side. There isn't too much cap time yet either as well, but the Forfence are going to stabilize. They're going to get their Uber back, so we're back to an even Uber scenario with once more Virtus having control of the midpoint, and yeah, back to where we were 5 minutes ago.
I mean, if we're back in this position again and I see Kuna walking through a choke point, so I don't even need to say anything. I know exactly what's going to happen. Like, I think he just thinks he's a raid boss or something. But they've gone in on the flank. That's a really nice play. Now this is a much better initiation, having the flank take a buff and go in. Now they've got two people behind and a pick to work with. Kuna's doing a lot more damage from this position. Bruceman's 10 HP. The flank's backcapping. They have no choice but to go back now and try and isolate any of these players. But they're living so well. This is really good from VB. I'm loving how they're using the map against FF right now. And the flank for FF is getting absolutely mulched by VB. Bruceman trades with Fish, but he gets caught in the end. And Juno gets a trade out onto second, but they've got 3 picks already. Juno is such an easy trade for Juno, as long as Nuthouse doesn't die. Really well played from VB.
Ends up a decent trade for them, but losing Kuna wasn't ideal scenario, but VB are looking to continue to press the issue. They've got the double scouts from Chunu and running in, picking up Nevo. Scar's in for something, but they're not sure exactly what target to go for. There's not too much cap time. They're going to have to back out. They're going to lose Scar. They're probably going to lose Junu as well. We'll see if they're going to be able to hold on to second, but they're not stopping. Kuna's looking to go forward. High's with him as well. They're going to pick up Alien Smiley in the shutter door as well. Fishkoff is in from the flank. Don't think Joe has anyone really to go with. He's going to get out of their Scar, jumps towards him. So they're looking to continue to press and press and press, but they've had to give up some space because of it.
This is reminding me of like what old school Russian teams used to do, where they just fight you every single step of the map, which was unbelievably hard to play against. But they did it in a much better way. But they get forced in the choke point with a trade. But Scar and Fishkoff 10 HP, but Shay dies on the flank. Bruceman could be caught in no man's land if he needs to get at least one trade frag in this situation, because he's been caught behind. Juno with a full buff cleans him up. That's a very questionable trade from FF. They just got forced in such a bad choke, but Joel stops the push again, cleans up Nuthouse. And this is where it should stabilise. This is where they should slow it down.
Yeah, we've seen this scenario a lot with Forfence holding this yard area, and every time it seems Duo playing the flank, playing the right yard, has been that kind of isolated pick that VB have looked to exploit, even if it results in Kuna walking through that space. We'll have to see if Duo is going to stay in that position, or at the moment he was holding more close towards choke. He's going to go back, get a buff, and we'll see whether he returns to flank or not.
They seem to, you are right with what you touched on there. Duo does seem to be getting caught out to dry right now, and I feel like it should be Bruceman needs to be helping him a bit more rather than Shay, because the choke point is so narrow. It's so much easier for Bruceman to support Duo rather than Shay. Shay gets caught in that choke point, he's just died to 2 rockets, but Bruceman can dish out 400 damage in that choke point with Duo. with that support factor. Like Shay and Duo, or Shay and Bruceman swapping positions right now would be much more beneficial. But Kuda's already peeked through this doorway. He's caught Alien in no man's land. He's sticking him off completely. It's a shame no one was there to capitalise off that.
Yeah,
He's just fearless, man. He just walks through these doors. He has no care for his life, even at the detriment of his team. But there's a sniper in play. Junior's come out, brought the sniper back out.
Fishkoff jumping in, trying to make some space for his sniper. Kuna's able to walk through as well, gets an arrow.
Oh my
and a
God!
shot from Judo onto Jugster. The Alien is going to descend on the choke point. They're going to get the force out of the VB side, but that's about all she wrote. The Frenchies, Nevo and Shay, going to have to run back to last to try and keep provide a bit of resistance before their spawners get up.
I don't think there's maybe Kuna does the spawn in time. So much damage from Kuna. He read the spawn door perfectly. A lot of damage comes out. Kuna gets 2 picks from it as well, and they roll off the round. Junior, the star, absolute star. That's 2 times in 2 maps. He's just pulled out the sniper. Hero peaks. He didn't even headshot the medic straight away. He headshot Bruceman when Bruceman was trying to actually be the only one to fight the choke point. Got isolated. Couldn't kill Kuna. Kuna got arrowed by Gel, and then the headshot runs out. And it's just absolute train wreck.
Nice stuff from Juno, just providing his finding so much value as a merc and just pulling the sniper out at the right time. But next mid fight is away. Brudgeman and Dwo are both in. Dwo's going to land on Joe and clean him up pretty quickly as well. Now it's the case, can Juxta survive? He serves away, but serves it kind of into High here. High's running in. Juxta's quite low, but there's so many players between Judo and that enemy medic. So Forfence will keep their mid alive. They will take control of the mid, and they will have an advantage.
Bruzman's bomb on the mid is really good because it's distracting the one scout that's actually trying to focus down the soldiers that bomb. So Duo is bombing in from bottom left, completely uncontested. Like, there's no one even spamming him at the start. He just lets the free bomb, lands in the choke, isolates Gel, dies for it, but you know, he's done his job, so it doesn't matter. And by that time, Shay, Nevo and Alien have got such a good bunker hold for Juxta that Juxta's basically safe, like just safe as a baby.
Yeah, Uber in through the left-hand side. There's a sentry gun in the left spawn door. They're going to have to clean with Fishkoff and Scar both on the high ground. Scar gets knocked down, but they're going to pick up Nevo and Brudgeman. Shay's going to start standing on the point, but not too much support for him, and it looks like the Frenchies see the writing on the wall. Gonna back out, they got the pick onto the medic. They're going to still have advantage. See if they can hold second or not, or if they have to give the point up.
The gun did take too long to go down. Alien thought he had it with his first 2 stickies, and then he turned around, but the gun was still shooting him, so he lost an extra 2 seconds of his Uber, having to take that gun, which allowed VB to get out of the other spawn door and actually take some space on the map. Plus, there was no focus. Duo's just fed his life away trying to spam a gun, and Fishkoff isolates him in the window room. That really actually ruins your push on this last point, because you need the soldiers to try and capitalize on the combo, because you try to mirror the side that they push, so you can go the opposite way. They're still going for it though.
Same attempt. Demo scout through the left-hand side. Nevo takes out the gun with the help of Alien. Now they're trying to pin players in the right spawn. Brudgeman gets a lot more position here. The descent though is on Fishkoff, lands on the medic, but is that the pick they want? No, the medic pick not being very high value there, and Shay and Nevo survive to walk on the point and cap it out.
I think they read what they did wrong last time. Even despite not having Duo, like their push actually still weren't quite successful. Still a bit risky in the long run. It's just because there was only 2 FF players alive at the end. But isolating them in the doorway, the much faster capitalization, just much better push.
Absolutely, it's going to be Kuna and Alien both going up top once more, similar to the first mid. Alien's already very, very low. He's going to have to wait for an arrow, and they're not finding much position at the moment for offense. The VB side is trying to walk over, but Joe's caught in the corner with both soldiers landing down on him. There's not too much health available at all for VB. They do pick up Juxta, and there's going to be continued fighting actually. Duo and Scar battling out. Scar wins that one, playing in Garage with a little bit more of his own health. Chase on the chase onto Kuna as well. He's decided not to pull the trigger. He's going to nearly let him get the health back. Kuna was not aware of that scout in the backlines. The fighting continues on mid between High and Alien. Surely not another demo man getting chased down. No, Alien finds a pipe.
Nice pipe from Alien. The positioning on VB this mid for the initiation factor was actually really, really strong. They found out what Shay's doing, where he's hiding on the bottom left blue crates every middle, waiting for his soldiers to go in and go in on the low. He's going in low, like along the floor, trying to play off the distraction. They isolated him super early, and the soldiers had no bombs because they managed to figure out where they're bombing from and spammed it really hard beforehand. Gel's worked his way up. Oh, Gel's got crits. He picks up Alien straight away, picks up Bruceman. They might be able to leave this in time. They do. Now they got full Uber ad to play with. They're still coming. They're still aggressive, or relentless with this aggression. Woe's 10 HP. He gets isolated in the air, but the flank. The Uber has achieved absolutely nothing. Gel's getting chased onto mid, but he's not going to die. Nevo's now caught in no man's land, and now it's Juxta and Shay versus the world. Juxta falls, and Shay's soon to follow.
Yeah, they didn't have the read on exactly where VB were pushing from. They ended up committing through Garage. They got the pick onto Scar, but everyone else was scattered either around Choke or on the high ground on mid. And now we're going to see big rocket from Doe. Going to pick up Kuna, going to get traded out at the end of the day, but the spawns are a little bit faster for 4 fences. Actually 80% Kritzkrieg up for Joe, so it looks like VB are going to continue to play around this Kritzkrieg, around this advantage that they have, looking to push into mid here.
They're moving into the garage, but the Bruceman's got the big flank up top. He's just spamming them really hard in the doorway. There's nothing to work with. Junior can't even get a flash in. They managed to pick up Shay on the flank, but they've not even made any space through the doorway. They pick up one player. Nuthouse gets caught behind. Really well played from Duo. Nice 2 rockets. Like, they knew they had crits, so there was just no surprise factor to play off there. They could have waited for spawns and tried to play off that a bit better, but now they've just gifted Juxta a full Uber advantage. I mean, they built the crits really well. They're going to have crits up by the time they actually start capping the second point, but Kuna is not playing with his medic. None of the soldiers are. They're not going to be able to use this effectively. They're just going to get baited into having a bad crits.
Yeah, I'll have to see if they're able to use the crits to... I mean, they could have maybe even used it there to force them onto the point, but either way, it's going to be just an Uber in through the right-hand side. Crits is up for Gel, but they're going to have to recycle to the other spawn. Already cap time being played. Still a couple of stickies on point. Duo up on the high ground is going to land down on Gel. The crits is out. It's actually going to clean up Duo with it, but the arrow for Juxta.
The saving grace. The saving grace for a failed push.
And VB gonna walk out. They lose the medic, and they get the second kappa.
I mean, they get the second kappa. Is not going to accomplish much because Gel's not going to get crits up. Well, he might get a crits up in time if he's lucky. Fishkoff's coming on the flank. Bruceman gets picked up. It's actually a decent pick. Let's see if we can find Gel. That's Uber. Gel's back on Uber like normal. Duo's now getting caught in a 2v1 on the flank. Fishkoff's not going to help his scout. He's going for the drop down play. Fishkoff's in behind right now. No one knows. No one. There's such a free bomb. He forces Juxta. And he gets Alien as well.
Oh, Scar was caught pretty close there as well, but he's going to be able to sneak himself out to safety as well. The red combo and VB is looking already to continue to pressure. Joe's up on the minigun, doesn't have an Uber just yet. Duo's gone very, very low, going to pick up an arrow, keep himself alive just about for now. They've busted out through yard. They're looking to continue to pressure into mid. They only really had that one pick. A nice rocket from Scar. It's going to pick up Brugman nice and quick, so they're looking to continue pressure. They have the Uber ready to go here.
Draws in for the big flank with the Alien spam, gets 2 picks. Gel doesn't have... There's not really on Gel that, but they've got Nuthouse with a fat solo, but they've got scout speed with Nebo to just run away from this. Alien's juggling him. Shay's on the high ground waiting, but the Uber's not going to fade in time. Nice little sync play from Alien and Duo, following up on the same spam with each other. Now Juxta with a fat Uber advantage, just being able to roll it all the way into second.
And they ended up going forward with 3 players using a completely worthless Uber. And now, as you say, 4 fence looking to turn the tail on their opponents. You can see Juxta charging forward, looking to use his Uber. Nevo is with him. He pops through with the right spawn door. Surely Scar, no, it's not going to be able to focus on Scar. The demo is caught Kuna playing in a sneaky position on the pipe. They're going to pick him up. They've got 3 picks here now on the Frenchy side. Scouts are towards the point. Fishkoff is low on the high ground. The focus fire is surely going to come in. They still have a demo man. Aliens putting stickies on the point. Shay walks on it and they convert the round.
They're a little bit too aggressive, VB, on the hold on the flank, because they're just isolating themselves. I don't think they really realised that, because Nevo's Uber was not good. It was just him by himself. Alien was in no position, and Bruce, I think it was 2-0 up top, was in no position to really get in. It was the fact that like 2 VB players tried to push through bottom right that allowed that push for FF to work. Because Gel was up to 90%. He could have got that Uber if VB just positioned a bit better.
Yep, they didn't have the best Uber, but they did put their opponents out of position. Now Duo, and this next mid fight is going to find a frag on to high, but that's going to be just about all offense shortly. Duo still alive, still making stuff happen, but can't get on to Joe. He's going to just go in behind. The 3 red players are going to sit on mid, cap it out, have stickies ready. And Virtus with 5 minutes left, a round down, winner an important mid-fight and having an important advantage.
Gel is on Uber as well, so it's not a crits for this last push, or potential last push. Let's see if Duo actually accomplishes anything. Hiding in garage, no spawners have gone that way. Fish is on the prowl, Fish has found him. 2 nice rockets, but Duo lives. Jump map's paying off. Nothouse might catch him, and that's a nice pick to take onto the second now. They've got Nevo's already building the gun. They're not even building Uber with this situation right now. Shay's sniping in the bottom right door as well. Shay gets even 1. Oh, nice pick onto Scar. Gel crosses now. This could be very dangerous. Shay was feeling it so on a little bit on the last map. They gets forced. What did he do? Why did he use? Oh, this is so poverty.
That was...
Like, there's no need to use there. Gel had a gust of wind blow on him, and he just thought, I'm just going to pop around this corner. That's horrible, Uber.
I think the call was probably that Alien was closer than they thought he was. They were players peeking exactly where he was. They knew there was a sniper to worry about as well. There was a lot of threats that the Frenchies were putting out, but they could have just surely baited the cap. Surely could have waited for their flank to come in, recycle the heals back over to the flank, but no.
I'd like to have seen that. It's just it's just eagerness, you know. They got full ads. I know the clock's against them, but there's still so much time. Like, there was only a demo pressuring them. That's just awful awareness more than anything. Scar goes in for a bomb. He's going in behind, actually, but he's not going to be able to, unless he has pain. Even if he has a pain trade, he's not going to be able to do anything with it. But are they going to be able to block in time? I hear Uber charges from Gel. Fishkoff gets dropped in time, and they can't block the point in time.
The Junior's not even getting flashed. Paul finally gets a flash, but it's already down to 40 health before Jelp's finally able to connect the midi beam with him. High is going to get out of there, but it's pretty much a disaster for VB. Brudgeman and Nevo still on the chase. VB.
Oh my god,
all the way
guess
back to
who's
last.
behind? Look who it is. The Lone Ranger, bombing it around. 19 HP, what a hero. Oh my god, yeah, I mean... They just play. I mean, Juxta didn't even use on that mid, so they're just walking in with Uberad. Scar dies on the flank. They're just going for DM fights now. Gel manages to live. They haven't really got much with this Uber, but I feel like in the long run it's not going to pay off because they're just slowly chipping away. 2.5 minutes. I don't think it's possible with the rollout times and how the mids have been going. Can't see it being possible, even if they are on crits, which they're not either, so I think this is nail in the coffin.
Yeah, we're going to need some serious TCM energy coming in from VB, but yeah, 2 rounds down, 2 minutes left. Kuna's immediately tagged on the mid-fight. Alien is just as low as him though. It's a sticky ready. Alien goes so low, eventually does take an arrow, but Scar's bombing in. He lands on Alien as well. They clean them up with the help of Fishkoff and High. Rudgeman and Duo are going to descend. They pick up Gel, so that might be just about all 4 fence need. Juxta and Shay getting out, they're going to recycle their Uber. Virtus are going to take the mid-fight, but they needed a more decisive victory.
Yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote now, so now it's just going to be dead time, especially with Juxta having a full Uber advantage to play with, so I don't even see VB getting this round. Kuna's on an adventure again, doing Kuna things. Shay's runs through his stickies and kills him, as you do.
Yeah, he does go down for it, but probably what he would have wanted. High is now fighting a 1v5.
Oh my god!
Picks a bunch of them. They get the force out as well somehow. It's probably just a case of don't drop it everyone for Juxta and we win the game. That's probably why that Uber's coming out. But
I think so, yeah. I mean, the thing is, you have to cycle back to what went wrong, and the biggest factor that went wrong was Scar gets behind. He doesn't have paint train, but he's on the back cap, and like all the VB is alive at this point, and they know they have equal Ubers. There could have been such a better way to do it. Like, there was no pocket scout, or even any scout with gel at that moment in time. So they've tried to block the point with a soldier, but the soldier jumps over the crate. He's not going to get flashed. A scout can run onto the point while getting flashed. It's just like it's not 2009. You can't really there's very, very few situations a pocket soldier Uber is actually really good right now. Granary second's one of them. Gully lobby, Gully last, also one of them. But Gully mid, no, you're just gonna get kited to oblivion. You won't be able to do anything, and then your Uber's poverty, and it showed. Juxta didn't even force. They got an easy. They just were able to walk through yards, walk through seconds, use on last, and just capitalize off poor plays. Like, despite pretty much gifting them 2 rounds on both maps with just very quick drops onto Juxta, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, unfortunate stuff for VB. I mean, for offense, they do come through. They do take the 6 points here tonight. It was pretty tough going overall. They were certainly put through their paces. A good challenge provided them to VB, but I think they just look a little bit more cohesive as a team. Particularly, how Juxta and Nevo are playing together. There's more. They're more together. Certainly, the VB side was struggling. Obviously, not an ideal scenario. They're having to play with a pocket scout who, as far as they knew, they were going to play with Olga tonight. He hasn't been online. He didn't show up. Junu, did a solid job. He had a couple of big moments, particularly on those sniper plays. But it is difficult to come in last second, play a pocket scout. Gel clearly wasn't super comfortable playing with him. They were disconnected at important times, and when you played against this level of opponent, just a few moments of disconnect, a few moments of uncertainty, coupled with Kuna playing a little bit off the rails as well, it was kind of difficult for them.
See, when I was talking about it, like after Gully saying like, oh, they're the new team, it'd be good to see them doing something different, something a bit like just a bit out of the box, but trying things. I didn't mean quite literally just walk through a choke point as a demo man, just spamming stickies and hoping for the best, because that's brainless pug gameplay. That's never going to work against any sort of Prem team. It might, maybe the bottom Prem teams, it might work, but despite FF taking, I'm going to say like significant player downgrades, they still have the experience at playing at this level for a long time, and experience matters a lot when you can read a game and see what the enemy team is doing. And if you're just going to feed your demo's life away, well, there's a reason that the class is restricted to 1 in this game. It is like objectively one of the most powerful class. And if you just want to throw your life away, you may as well just play Roma. Let someone else who actually knows what they're doing play a demo. It's not going to work.
Seeing from the logs, there was a good showing from Nuthouse, I'd say.
And Nuthouse had some pretty good plays. Like, he managed to claw their way back a little bit on their Gullywash as well. He had like a 10k, I think. Well, he definitely had 6. I think he moved up to 10k at some point, like going on for a big flank and pulling them all the way back to the mid fight. But again, just lack of experience shows, and it does play a big role. The experience level or experience at this level, like. Yeah, sometimes it's okay to just slow down and like just think about what you want to do, like especially when you have big advantages, like doing something a bit different on mid fights or during transitions when it's equal Ubers, like when VB had no Uber and FF had no Uber and VB just walked at them. VB were really, really strong, but anytime it came down to when Ubers were a factor, they just crumbled. It just pays dividends. Whereas FF were more controlled. They knew what they wanted to achieve with their Uber, and even if VB ran away, they knew they were going to come back to them, so they didn't chase, they didn't feed, they just blobbed up and just isolated players when they came back in.
Yeah. Be excited to see how both these teams pull out, particularly VB. Be excited to see how they play with Olga, particularly Olga Kuna in that combo. Could be very exciting stuff throughout the season. But have you got anything left for us here, Josh, before we move on from tonight?
No, it's like you said, I need to see this team play again. Like, despite the scoreline, the game was actually quite fun to watch. It was quite fast paced. It was an enjoyable watch. But I want to see Olga with this team because Olga needs to put a leash on the demo and actually like lead the team. Otherwise, I don't see anything good happening from it.
Okay, thank you guys for watching Team Fortress TV. It's been me, Dave, joined by Josh, with JMax doing great work behind the camera, and we'll see you next week.